Rauf Adesoji Aregbesola.
It's always a pleasure for me to grace any occasion in which Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is celebrated. It gives me enormous joy. Asiwaju, before I go into this, and I hope you are not counting what I'm saying now as part of my time for presentation. I recognize all the dignitaries, no doubt. All of you, I can't go naming you one by one. The company has named all of us. But I must not fail to recognize the captain of the Governors Forum, my own brother, Babatunde Raji Fashola. It's nice to know that we are gradually maturing to celebrate those that must be celebrated. Asiwaju is an icon, no doubt. And we're not just saying this to patronize him. When you look at those who have risen through him, you will know that it's not ordinary. You cannot talk of the performance of Babatunde Raji Fashola without Asiwaju. Neither can you mention any one of us today in the Southwest without him. Even the one that wants to be separated from us, and that is Mimiko, got his ticket ultimately through the support and assistance of Aregbesola Ahmed. And I'm happy that from the school of Asiwaju politics, a vice president will emerge in 80 hours' time. 80 hours. We are 80 hours to the emergence of a vibrant vice president from amongst the product of Asiwaju school. Asiwaju, may your shadow never grow less. Ẹ jẹ́ kó máa bú wa tiwa yàtọ̀ sí tiwọn o. Ẹ jẹ́ kó máa bú wa. Ẹ jẹ́ kó máa bú wa tiwa yàtọ̀ sí tiwọn. Wọ́n bá kọ́ pẹ̀tẹ́ẹ̀sì. Kàn fi góòlù ṣe bàtà. Kàn fi diamond ṣe ìbùbá o. Àpótí ẹlẹ́mu nìkan bọ̀ọ̀dù aṣọ wọn. That is for Asiwaju. Let me go into the body of this. I must thank our incoming Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, for the kind invitation to the 7th Annual Bola Tinubu Colloquium and the privilege to share the success of our people-oriented programs like O-Mills, O-Yes, and Osun. I will begin with O-Yes. While I was still a candidate and struggling to reclaim my mandate, it took 3.5 years to remind all of us. Our team carried out research on the situation in Osun and what needed to be done. This became the basis of our campaign manifesto, which is broken into the broad categories of the 7 Integral Action Plan. When we were inaugurated over 4 years ago, our immediate task was to make the greatest impact on our people. One of the immediate actions we took was to engage the teeming youth, many of whom were roaming the streets and idle. We set up a committee that immediately put into motion the machinery for youth engagement. Within 100 days, we had established Osun Youth Empowerment Scheme, O-Yes, under which we employed 20,000 volunteers in one fell swoop. The cadets were given training and deployed to productive services such as Public Works Brigade, Green Gang, Osun Sheriff Corps, Traffic Marshal, Osun Paramedics, Sanitation SARS, and Teachers Corps. After this, 8,000 of the cadets with the requisite qualifications were posted to teach in public primary schools, out of which 6,000 were eventually employed as teachers. The first set of cadets served for 2 years. Most of them were given soft landing through training in vocational skills and eventually found employment in other government-enabled schemes. About 1,600 of them were engaged in the Osun Rural Enterprise Agricultural Program, ORIP, after going through training at the ORIP Academy. About 5,000 were also trained as specialists in ICT and employed now in the newly established Aregbesola Technology City in Ilesha, where we produce all electronics. 40 of them were sent to Germany for advanced training in farming techniques. Another 31 were sent to Germany for training in mechatronics, a multidisciplinary field of engineering with focus on mechanical, electronic, telecommunications, and computer engineering for automobile in a trainee-the-trainer project. We are setting up a mechatronic institute named after Unkubola Ige in the SRK College of Technology to engage this youth. Another set of 20,000 cadets were engaged again in 2013, making it a total of 40,000 cadets that this scheme has handled. The economic impact of this program on the state is that first, 200 million naira directly goes into the 200 million naira as direct monthly allowance being paid to the cadet is absorbed in the local economy. And I want to elucidate on this. What this means is we have 200 million naira going to akara seller, boli seller, their girlfriends and boyfriends, and several of the people within the state. It does not leave the state because it's not huge enough for them to even travel out of the state with. The 80,000 uniforms worn by the cadets were produced by tailors in the state. The 40,000 boots worn by the cadets were also produced by state leather and footwear unions. All this reflected the state's economy and rose the state GDP. This program was so successful that the World Bank sent a team to understudy it, and it was eventually recommended to the federal government for adoption in all states at YESO. That's about 2 years. Home meals. The federal government in 2004 initiated the Homegrown School Feeding and Health Program through the Universal Basic Education Act. A total of 13 pilot states were selected for the initial implementation of the program. Out of the 13 pilot states, only Kano, when Kwakwanso got there, and the state of Osun are implementing the program to date. On assumption of office, our administration undertook a comprehensive review of the inherited school feeding program, which necessitated a total overhaul of the program, after which we renamed it Home Meals and officially launched it on Monday, 30th April 2012. Implementation started immediately across the 1,378 elementary schools in Osun. We don't have primary school anymore in Osun, we have elementary schools. It was designed primarily to reduce the incidence of hunger and malnutrition among school children. The vision was also to nurture elementary school pupils who are well nourished, healthy, happy, focused, and eager to attend school and complete their basic education in a friendly, attractive, and stimulating learning environment. It was also to motivate parents to enroll their children in schools and have them attend regularly, address specific micronutrient deficiencies in school-aged children,